If you already love Spellbinders wax seals, or if you've never tried them and are interested in checking them out, this video is for you. Hi everyone, I'm Rebecca Keppel. In today's video, I'll be sharing some items from Spellbinders Sealed for Summer collection, which has brand new dies, it has foil plates, and new wax seal stamps. So let me show you the supplies that I'll be working with today. I didn't mention in the intro, but there are also several new colors of wax beads available. I linked the colors that I used down in the YouTube description box below the video, as well as links to the UK store. Now, some of these items I just purchased on my own because while Spellbinders did send me the new wax seal stamps, I wanted to try those new colors and I wanted to try those wax seal stamp adhesive circles, and they don't always have samples for everybody to use. So these wax seal stamps are part of a 3 set. They also have cutting dies available in the essential stylish ovals. There are also a couple of 3D embossing folders in this new collection and hot foil plates that I'll be working with as well. That has a die that will cut out the foiled flower bouquet. So to start off with, I love wax seals. I have so much fun creating them, and I've created a couple of videos that I'll link to down below that you can check out that have more of an introductory feel to them. So today I'll be using most of the new items and mixing in some colors of wax beads from what I already owned. I did decide to add to my little set here a bunch of little toothpicks, and that just helps me to stir the wax seals, especially when I'm trying to create a marbleized look like this with 2 different colors. So to start out with, I definitely had about 4 beads in there. But for these larger wax seal stamps, I recommend going to 5. So this larger oval, you can see I didn't get the stamp down on the entire bit of wax there because there just wasn't enough. And the way I poured it was more circular than oval. So I missed some of the stamp. That's okay. It still looks really pretty. But you can see I did add a little bit more wax the second time around here so that I'll have lots to use and pour out. And it's okay if you have a little more that you don't need. You can always trim it if you want to, or I kind of like the look of the excess around the outside anyway. Just looks more like a traditional old-time wax seal. You will also need a little extra wax for the square wax seal. Now, I am pouring out a circular amount of wax and then stamping it with that square, and it comes out really cute. But they also do have a just plain square that you could stamp it with, and then you could kind of heat it up again and then stamp the actual image from that square. So you can have a lot of fun with these. I find it very relaxing to create these, watching the wax kind of melt and then pouring it out. There's just something very therapeutic about that for me. So if you're like me, I definitely recommend checking out some of these new supplies because they really do extend your ability to use these as embellishments on different cards. So sometimes I like to use the little messages. This one says for you. Sometimes I just like to use the little images. There are stamps with both. So you can choose and pick and choose your style. I like this set because it has 3 different wax seal stamps. One is an oval with just an image, one is a square with that says just a note, and one is a circle that says for you. So lots of different options in this one set. You get it all at once. There's 1 handle in the set, and then the 3 tops just easily screw on and off. So again, I love these new colors. There's some really pretty summery colors that are available, and I didn't grab any greens, and I'm kind of regretting that because it looks like some of the greens are sold out already, but they'll be restocked. So just keep your eye out. If there's something that you want that is sold out on the Spellbinders site, just be sure to sign up for notifications. They'll let you know when it's back in stock. So I did go back to some of the colors that I already had of the wax beads. You can see how detailed those stamps are, how nicely and clearly and cleanly they stamp and come out. And you can absolutely see those messages even when I create kind of that marbleized look. This is me learning from my past here to actually pour in a bit more of a square-ish shape so that when I stamp that square, I get the entire image. Same thing you can see on the top left of the stamps that I've already done, that light purple. I poured that into an oval with some extra wax beads in it to make sure I could cover the entire image and be able to stamp it all out. I did it again here, and yes, I was able to get the entire image stamped. It looks really pretty. I love the oval and the flowers in that image. If you want them to stand out even more, Spellbinders has some Marvy Yukaita Deco pens that are paint pens that you can add little details and make sure that your images really pop off that wax background. Now that we've got all our wax seals created, I did want to use some of the hot foil plates, and so I'd wanted to share with you how beautiful this bouquet looks when it's foiled. So I pull out the platform once it's heated up. I have my gold foil taped to some white cardstock. I put the clear plates and shim on top. This way everything doesn't move around inside the die cut machine, and when you peel it off, look at how gorgeous that is. This is actually a foil plate from the It's My Party collection. I wanted to include it here because I am going to use it with a wax seal. It just says hip hip hooray in a really cute bubbly font. This would go great with the rest of that collection, which has balloons and things like that, but I did want to use it today in my wax seal video. So I also have a couple of sentiments. This is from the Glimmer More Sentiments set. This is just one of my absolute standby sets that I use all the time for creating sentiments. Now let's use all those items to make some cards. For this first card, I'm using the Modern Essential Ovals die set. Comes in a bunch of different sizes. I don't know what it is about the shape. I absolutely love it. It's an oval, but not, it's modern and essential, I guess. So I really, really like the way the shape kind of sits on an A2 card. I also use the Mandala Blooms embossing folder after I had cut out my oval. So now I have an embossed modern oval. This die set is the Sealed Blooming Stems die set. Now, of course, you could use dried flowers on your cards or real flowers or whatever you wanted to do. These dice obviously are going to hold up a little bit longer and last a little bit longer without kind of falling apart. So I really like that they have the long stems. They make it easy to tie twine around and then add your wax seal as kind of the finishing touch. So for these, I decided to pop up the leaves and the flowers and let the stems go flat to the card. So I just used some of the Spellbinders small foam white squares behind some of the larger elements. I don't put them behind the teeny tiny little leaves. This is the Spellbinders white cord. I absolutely love it because it has a lot of texture and you can actually curl it a little bit. It has almost that waxy feel to it. So you can curl it around your finger and get even more curl, but you can just tie a bow like I'm doing here, and it just has dimension to it because of how it's made. These are those adhesive circles. So you peel off one of the circles from the backing, and then it's got this little tab, and then you just peel that back and you've revealed the adhesive circle right on your wax seal. And then you can just press it down on your card, which I think is so much easier than having to relight some wax and drip it down so that you can seal it down. I love these little circles. I was hoping they would come out with something like this. So I was super excited when they did, because I had tried, you know, foam tape and liquid glue and all kinds of other things. And I think those little adhesive circles are genius. The other great thing about having different sizes of those ovals is that you can mat different colors on top of each other and have more colors on your card. So I have two different colors from Spellbinders cardstocks adhered together with the Modern Essential Ovals, and then I embossed the white background, an A2 card, with the Mandala Blooms embossing folder. I did just want to share some of the other dies in that Sealed Blooms die set. So you can see that there are several different flowers and a couple of different leaf stems that you can use. You can put them all on one card, you can mix and match, you can just add a couple. I've again used some of that cord to tie a little knot in the center this time, and I curled the ends around my fingers so they look super curly, and then used one of those little circles to adhere the wax seal, and then popped that whole thing up on the embossed background with foam tape. Last but not least, I'll add some of the Spellbinders fashion silver embellishments. I didn't have anything pink or blue, and I thought the silver just went nicely, even though the color on the wax seal is a different metallic. I think they all go really well together. I'd cut those blooms out of different colors of cardstock, but I hadn't tried cutting them out of the gold mirror cardstock, and that's one of my favorite things to do with Spellbinders flower or leaf dies, is to cut them out of the gold mirror cardstock. I think you cannot lose when you do that. They always look elegant. They just always look like they're meant to be cut out in gold when you do it. And I adhered a wax seal down to the stems, and I put a little bit of liquid glue. So these are all laying flat on the card. And then you can see where I cut out the center of that gold mirror cardstock. So I used the rest to mat the embossed panel down to it. So the embossed panel is 4 by 5 1/4, the background's A2, and I finished it off with one of those Glimmer More sentiments. I told you I use these all the time. They have 2 different dies. One cuts out a little flag like this, and it just says Hello Sunshine. I love using those foil sentiments on tons of different cards. Remember I said that the glimmer plate that came in this collection also has a die, so I'm going to use that die to cut out that foiled bouquet of flowers. I used another sentiment from the Glimmer More sentiment set. I have an oval cut out in the cosmic blue cardstock, which is my favorite color, and I embossed it with the Mandala Blooms 3D embossing folder. So lots of different elements on this card. So I didn't think it needed cord or anything else. Basically what I did was I popped up the thanks for all you do sentiment, flipped over the card, and cut off the excess tails that were hanging off the side of the card. And for this one, I'll just use that wax seal as an embellishment on this card. And absolutely, you can use these on envelopes, but I think they're so much fun to use right on the cards as well, and I really like to use them in multiple different ways. For this card, I grabbed the foil plate and die from the It's My Party collection, as well as the embossing folder. Check out that classic dot embossing folder. I think I'll be using that over and over again. I decided to pop up the sentiment that says hip hip hooray on a smaller essential oval, and I'm using it horizontally rather than vertically. For the rest of the cards, I use them all vertical, so I thought it'd be fun to use it horizontal, and it kind of looks like a cool sign. So again, I'll just add that wax seal as an embellishment. This doesn't need much more, lots of gold and shine, and a pretty little embellishment. I'd love to hear if you've tried wax seals or if you're interested in giving them a shot. Let me know in the comments below. If you want to see more about the basics and the introductory set of wax seals from Spellbinders, check out this video here. As always, I want to thank you so much for stopping by and spending time with me today. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you again soon. I've called it sealed for summer, sealed with summer, sealed by summer.